What's up, people? Welcome to the show. My name is Lee Black, and I'm the host of Real Talk for Real Men. Welcome to our Wednesday's edition. Hopefully, you are having a great week. I'm glad I'm on the other side of this hump day because it's going down. Can't wait for the weekend. Your boy's feeling a little bit better, and I'm glad you're joining me. You can find Real Talk for Real Men on YouTube under the same name, YouTube and Facebook. But guess what? We're even under TFG, Uncut and Ratchet, because tonight it's going to get real, it's going to get raw, and we all the way live. I got my best friend in the house, Mick Mac from Memphis, Tennessee. What it do? Oh. What's up?
Did you get some head?
Did I get what?
Did you get some head?
I did not get any head, but my sciatica is healing, and I'm probably going to be hunting them nasty 50 no good bitches down this weekend. How you doing, baby?
Oh, this weekend got me in a headlock. I wish it would turn me loose. That's what I want. I'm ready for it to go on.
Oh, shit. Auntie visiting, huh?
No, it's just work. Just the regular work.
I hear you, baby. Well, look, if I can, I'm going to live it up for both of us. We got to live vicariously through each other. But how's Memphis treating you? How you doing this Wednesday?
Oh, not too bad. It was actually like a really, really pretty day today. Honestly, just from what I could enjoy, just going out, like on my break and stuff. It was a nice day today.
Beautiful outside today, too. I wish it could stay like this and wouldn't have to get any hotter. But, it is what it is. Yeah. I got my brother in the house. I ain't seen him in a New York minute. This my dog, Mr. Burt himself. What's going on, brother? We can't hear you, partner.
I think you're on mute.
Who on mute?
Is he on mute?
Burt, yeah, you on mute, my brother. Yeah, come on in. Come on back to the house while we waiting on Ghost to come back to us. I see my brother from another, Mr. Kenny, in the joint. Let's bring him on in this joint. And Sis from New York. What's up, brother Kenny? How you doing?
What's up, everybody?
What's up? What's
Sherry?
up, everybody?
Yes,
hey, Sherry. Hey, Tasha.
That's what's up. You know what? We can already have a good time tonight because the family look like they're here. The whole motherfucking family is in this joint. So we probably get ready to have us a good time tonight. We're going to give Brother Burt. And if Bert's popping in, somewhere in there, it's going to be his beautiful wife, Hannah, popping in too. Sis, how you holding things down in NYC with Miss Eloise?
You sing, I'm good.
Lower your camera so we don't have to look at your round little head and we can see a little bit of your face, sis.
Stupid.
I'm trying to tell you.
If you can tilt your phone down, so we can see more of your face.
There you go.
Tilt, yeah.
There you go. We want to see your beautiful face.
There you go. All right. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. All right. So while we wait on Bert, look, we're going to introduce the topic. And we have to actually, this particular topic, we got a resident expert in the house on this one right here. Yes, indeed. Guess what we're talking about tonight? We are talking about situationships. Situationships. And we're going to give Brother Bird about 2 more minutes and we're going to jump into this thing and we're going to pop it off like we always do. But you know what? What made me come to have this topic was, oh my God, as it's warming up, as I always tell people, the humidity of winter. And now that the sun is creeping out, we're starting to see some regular temperatures. You know what women are starting to do? To show their arrogant ass. They're coming in out of the cold, and all of a sudden they wearing less clothing, and they think they shit don't stink. And all of a sudden now they out there showing their wares. But here's the truth of the matter is, there's a lot of people out there that really believe they're in relationships, and maybe, just maybe, they might be in situationships. And hopefully by the time we finish this show, we're going to have a clearer understanding of what a situationship is. And maybe you can put your own situation under the microscope And you might just find that, oh my God. And just in case you out there thinking that this only applies to single folks, I know people right now. I know married couples right now who they're married by law, they're married by paper, and they're even married on social media. They got relationship goals, but in reality, they live in pretty separate fucking lives, different agendas, and one person feels something and somebody feels something else. I know other couples right now who are living together. And this show was inspired by one of those cases. What does it say that if something should happen to you and you found yourself sick, that you have to call in somebody, an outside party, to take care of you because the person living with you can't take care of you? What the fuck they there for then? I got to ask.
Wow.
I got to ask. So this is not some candy ass topic. So by definition, I want to get into this about whether or not situationship. And reason why I say we have a resident expert, Mick Mack up there, can tell you all true about, because she said she's been in them many times before. But I want to go around the room really quickly. If you just heard the term situationship, sis, what does that mean to you? What is a situationship?
Pretty much like, I mean, you got something going on with somebody, but it's not fully what you think it is.
Okay. Very good start. Very good start. Brother Kenny, when you think of a situationship, what does that say to you? What's a situationship?
I think it's basically two people that ain't really wanting nothing more than to kick it with each other when it's convenient for either party. That's basically what it is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so, Brother Bert looked like he's popping in right on time. What's going on, brother?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, there we go.
Yes, sir. You
Yeah, we
popped in
got
right
you.
on time. We're talking about situationships, Brother Bert. And I was just telling the fans, the audience out there, there are even couples, married and people living together, that, believe it or not, are probably in situationships and they don't even know it. And so we're going to investigate that. But to your mind, when you hear the word situationship, what does that mean to you? What's a situationship?
It means that well, to me, it means that whatever the situation calls for, it could be a situationship could be it's just like convenience. You know what I'm saying? It could be, hey, listen, I'm in a situation due to the fact that somebody might have some money and taking care of me, or it could be something where it could be a little bit extra. Hey, you just in it for the sex or whatever the case might be. So it could be any and everything. To tell you the truth, whatever the situation is.
Okay, okay. And I'm going to give the definition here in a second, and at least kind of go into it a little more defined. But Tasha,
Mhm.
I want you to tell us what's the difference between a situationship and a sneaky link. For those out there who might be thinking it's just more casual, to your mind, how would you define a situationship? And as you get the answer in, the real estate insider, what's going on? How you doing, fam?
What's up,
Good
real
to
I'm
see
estate
you.
on.
insider? What up, fam?
And I got Terrence Stone in the house
Hey,
from
what's up,
from
Terrence?
Manhattan. What's up? Good to see you, fam.
What's
So, Tasha, tell us what, to your mind, what is a situationship, and if there's a difference between that and sneaky links and hooking up.
Yeah, so to me, yes, there is definitely a
Thank you.
difference between a
I like
situationship
the
and
camera
a
glasses.
sneaky link. So to me, a sneaky link is more, I think that one of the parties is usually in a relationship and is sneaking to be with this person sexually. And that's it. Whether it be in the off hours or when your significant other is away, that's, to me, that's like what a sneaky link is. And it's strictly just for, strictly for sex.
Okay.
Whereas like a situationship, because I've been in one of those for more than 10 years, more off than now, more off now than anything, but that's okay. Um, but for me, like a situationship is you can be, depending on like how long it is. Yes, you usually meet like with the intention of of having sex, but to Bert's point, it is whatever it calls for in that moment. If it's just somebody just to be cool and hang out with, like after you get done, there's just like there's a little bit more of a connection, like, because it's kind of like, it's like established, like you know what it is, and you know what to expect from the other person and what not to expect.
I like that. And I like how you kind of flesh it out a little bit, because a clinical psychiatrist actually says a situationship is simply a relationship that hasn't been defined. So I like the fact that it is, in fact, a relationship, because a
Right.
sneaky link and a hookup, that could be some bitch I drag in from the club, you know.
That sounds like rape. So let's.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
just saying, even a sneaky link, right here in this, somebody just kind of sneaking in and out. But a situationship, it does in fact entail a relationship. And I wanted to establish that. It's
Mhm.
just a relationship that hasn't been defined, you know, and it talks about that as long as both people are okay with it, then it's one of those kind of things. But like Tasha said, it entails, a relationship in of itself, but it's not clearly defined. And what brings that to mind is one of somebody you dealt with. I won't say any names here, but I used to like the way he used to actually use an expression, where he used to say, "You know what this is." You know, he used to say, "You know what this is," and when he would say that to you, Tasha, what did that mean when a guy says, "Well, come on, man, you know what this is," you know?
It means just that. It's like like there's no to me, there's no loyalty, there's no expressed loyalty, there is no specific rules that I'm supposed to be following. But this person didn't understand that, and I always had to re-explain it to him. You can't have a situationship and then try to dictate it as if it is like a relationship where there are those boundaries. So, that's like where you have to be careful.
Absolutely. And one of the things that is interesting about the situationship is it has pros and cons.
Hmm.
There are pros and cons to it. You know, we got another guest popping in really quickly. Oh, that's Sherry popping back in. You know, but again, a situationship can be tricky because you do have all the benefits of a relationship without the title. And so, to Tasha's point, it can get confusing because as we're going to delve into this, we know we're dealing with human beings, emotions, sex, as we all know, can complicate matters in a whole nother level and raise the level of expectations, cross the lines of boundaries, and also deal with levels of consistency that we're going to talk about. But I want to ask you guys about some of the pros and cons of what do you think a pro, what would be something that's great about a situationship to your mind? What are some of the pros of a situationship as you think about it? Anybody?
Sex. Semi consistent sex at that. And usually if it's gonna be a situationship, it's good sex. So
Mm,
Okay. You
mm,
know,
mm.
anybody else want to comment on that? She laid it out there, sex as a pro of a situationship.
Cash.
Some of the pro. Oh, okay, go ahead, Sherry. Go ahead, Sherry. What did you
Sis, you have
say? I
something?
missed.
Oh no, I just say cash, money.
Okay. Okay.
Oh,
mhm.
okay.
You know, that's interesting. That's very interesting. But it is a relationship. And so I would imagine that
Mm,
for some people, there is an exchange of willingness to be able to, as opposed to me just giving a bitch $40 to pay a bill. If I'm in a situationship, probably wouldn't mind, doling out a little bit of money here and there because I probably care a little bit more. That makes sense, sis. Well,
Mhm.
Bert and Kenny, what are some pros that you would think? Because the women have spoken. For us as guys, what are some pros of a situationship? You think?
You go ahead, Kenny.
uh, You don't have to fully commit. You can commit as much as you want to commit, whatever it be. Like Tasha said, if it's just sex, you just commit to sex, and that's it. And all the other boundaries, all the other stuff that you do in a monogamous relationship, you ain't got to deal with that. That's one pro.
Absolute and I'm glad it came from my brother, because that to me is one of the main ones. It's a fun way to kind of practice dating without a commitment, and what I like about that is, and going back to people I know women who come to me for advice, and well, look up, we've been kicking it together for like 9 months now, and but he ain't ready to take. And this is where again there's that disconnect, because for a man sometimes, especially of a particular age, I done been married before. I may not want to go down that road again. I might want to have a little young gal on my arm that's just convenient, and I get to date and have certain scenarios with her, and it's beneficial in that time period. And then I know when to cut it off, you know. So it is a very fun way to date without commitment. Brother Bert, what do you want to add to a pro of it?
Um, well, Kenny knocked it out the park because that's what I was going to say. But it's just like what you two touched on. It's freedom and it's convenience. I mean,
Absolutely.
that sums it up for at least on the man side. It's the freedom to dibble, to get in and out, and to still do you. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? That's what it is, all in a nutshell.
Absolutely. I
And
want to go ahead, Tasha,
It just
please.
I just want to add one more. There is in a situationship, there is a level of trust that you
right.
obtain, because there's no reason for either one of us to be lying to one another, because we
That's
know what
true.
it is.
That's
Yeah.
So
true.
there is an
That's true.
understanding there. So
And that's
I
the thing,
love
and that's
that.
that communication part, but also
Hmm.
the understanding. And like
hmm
you were saying, like all the emotions and everything that goes into it. That person, whoever, both parties, they got to understand what's going on. You, like you said,
Right.
you know what it is. You know
Right.
what both sides know what it is.
I, Tasha, that was a brilliant point, because I was going to come back to the sex part of it. The familiarity, and you say it's semi-regular sex with a
good sex,
situ. With,
good sex.
well, you
That
hope if
that
you're going
you,
to
you
keep
hope
doing it,
that,
you
you know
hope,
that's subjective, Tasha. You know that,
right? You hope,
right?
but the fact that it's semi-regular, and you
Right.
mentioned about no need to lie. What I like about that point you made is that in a situationship, reason why you don't have to lie, there is a level of expectation of trust too, that you're not going to give me anything, and I'm
Exactly.
not going to bring you anything, because as the brother says, you know what this is. We know we fucking. So I'm trusting you out. It don't have to be exclusive, but I hope that out there you're protecting us, because when it's convenient for us, we gonna fuck. And in many of these fuckings, there's probably gonna be some raw dogging going on. So I'm trusting that if you get your head spent by somebody, make them shimmy up, because I might have to kill you if you give me something, and I'm kind of trusting you. Go ahead, brother Bird.
To the ladies, would you? I mean, if you're in a situationship, would you allow the fella to go raw?
I'm going raw, but Tasha. If
Not
I'm
to let
fucking, if I'm fucking you semi regularly, I'm getting that pussy raw. But go ahead, Tasha.
not
What
to let
in the
all
rape
in
is
my
going on?
business, but yeah, it's raw. Of course it
It's raw.
is.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I'm
Not
saying
for
if
me.
everybody just messing with everybody, I'm just saying, like, even if y'all on the regular,
No, but that, but
Right.
no,
Right.
but that just
just
said
saying.
in a situationship, I am. This is how why I'm saying it this way. I am expecting a little bit more than just somebody that's out there, because of the fact that it's semi regular. Okay, if I got somebody that's semi regular, and I know that a good schedule works for us. Let's say if weekends was our thing, you know what I'm saying? I probably honestly wouldn't do as much through the week, knowing I'm gonna get me some pussy on the weekend anyway. So I'm not gonna be out there as much, because I know that it's our thing, that she's coming over on Saturday and she probably gonna spend the night and stay all day with me Sunday. I'm actually planning for that. I'm expecting that. I know what to expect. Kenny?
I know this is getting off. I'm getting ready to go down the rabbit hole. I got to
Go
ask
ahead.
the panel. Do you talk to your situationship about your other ones you knocking down? Do you
Yeah,
Very
do
good
you have
question.
conversations about that?
Very good question.
yes. You're not supposed to, but yes, and it leads to fights. Yes, and
Very
arguments.
Wow.
good
But
question.
Oh,
but see what I'm
Yes.
saying? See what I'm
mm,
saying? Everybody know what it is, but you could deal with other people, but then you can't talk about it because other people's feelings are gonna get hurt. You
right.
know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Man, we greedy. You know what I mean? So we gonna go for it all. That's what I'm saying about the rawness. I'm just like, yo, man, we can sit here and say that and play that game like, yeah, we know what's coming this weekend. But trust, believe me, Monday to Friday or something coming through, we gonna snatch that.
So
And I know
to
the
answer
boys
that,
out there, they gonna snatch everything that's walking if they in that type of situation. That's what I'm asking as far as being raw.
That's what
abs-
I mean.
I can
absolutely.
I
Go ahead.
can uh, I can speak for mine because
Mm-hmm.
we dealt with each other for so long, and because we saw each other probably a little bit more frequently than what you're supposed to as far as a situationship,
Right,
because
right,
that's like multiple times a week. You
right.
don't stay the night. You don't live with me. None of your stuff is here. I don't go to your place. So yeah, that's why, like, for me, the trust was there because
Right.
it had been for over 10 years.
Oh,
Got you.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
So you
Okay.
got those years involved. Okay, I got you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sis,
I
You
got
was
you.
you was
Well, for me,
vested in that at that point.
if you, I don't sleep. I wouldn't sleep with nobody, bro, unless you're my man.
Mm.
okay.
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 That's for me.
Okay.
I got
The
you.
delegation of Tasha will be quiet on
Right.
that one.
So and then for me,
Order in the court.
if
Order in the
for me, if
court.
it's semi-regular, of course I'm going raw because again, there's an expectation of trust. But to answer a little bit more on that question you asked about talking, so here's what I learned as a man. My experience has been I've had women want to talk to me about the others, but I wasn't allowed to tell them about mine.
Mm.
Mm.
They weren't able to handle that. And it was an amazing thing that you could tell me about this guy and he doesn't do this right and why don't we do this and that. But the moment I say that, well, shit, I was fucking with this little something, they don't want to hear that.
Maybe
They don't
she's
want to hear
more
that,
invested than you, Black.
which
You know
is
what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Maybe she's a little bit more
which
invested.
Right.
She might a little bit
which
more.
is the dynamic as we get into this of
Mm-hmm.
how it becomes tricky. But I learned through my experiences that I had to be silent on that part, but maybe at the same time too, my delivery is raw. I'm giving it to him. In your words, Kenny, straight with no chaser. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because again, my thought process was, like we just fucking like this. We ain't, we're not
How
together
else was you
together.
supposed to come off, Black? How was you supposed to come off though? Because you're like, oh yeah, we know we did a little something. It's gonna be another question. Like, what you mean a little something?
Well, me, I leave nothing to the imagination.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So you came correct.
I don't know any way but to say it. Like, look, if I'm laying there, we finished fucking, and I'm gonna bring it up. My thing might be, So I was fucking this chick the other night and everything, and
Oh man.
pussy
Wow.
was all dry, and blah 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 blah. So like, I'm pretty blunt and raw with it,
Right.
But
Right.
but at the same time, I'm thinking if we lay in there, we could talk like that.
So
You
you would be
know,
cool if she talked to you, if she came with it like, yeah, man,
wouldn't bother me one
yeah,
bit.
yeah, okay.
Wouldn't bother me one
All
bit
right.
because for me, I actually know it's not going anywhere. I actually know it's not going anywhere. I know for me going into something when somebody is not girlfriend material, this is we are just gonna be fucking. Go ahead, Kenny.
This question is probably gonna come up. Y'all know I'm going down another rabbit hole. It came to my brain.
Let's
Can
go.
a situationship turn into a real relationship?
What
I
are you
think so,
saying?
Kenny. Because from what
I
you
mean,
were saying,
I
Black.
know it's a
Beautiful.
relationship, like you said, Black. It is technically a
Great question. Great
relationship,
question.
but is it really a relationship, and can it be that?
So when we start going through some of these signs,
I'm sorry, Bert,
that's
to cut you off. My bad.
No,
that's
you ain't
where
come, you ain't
that
come
we're
off,
going to
bro.
investigate this a little further to be able to see that. But Tasha, I see the wheels turning. Do you think a situationship can turn into something real?
It can. Yes, it can. And all honestly, yeah. Because if you get too comfortable and you start blurring those lines and and start telling too much, or something flips where you're like, okay, well, I don't like that. I don't want you to do that anymore. Where start becoming like a little bit more possessive, wanting
Right.
more from that person, demanding more from that person, it can.
Okay. Sis, what do
Yeah.
you think? Can a situationship turn into to a real relationship?
Yeah, it can, but it have to be stipulations set for me. And I honestly, I don't think I would want to turn a situationship into, because, and I don't want to hear about who you was with, and I'm gonna tell
Mm.
you, I ain't telling you about who I was with.
Okay.
That's just, so.
So you have some set parameters and boundaries. Absolutely.
Mhm.
I think a situationship couldn't turn to a relationship, but for me, so much would have to line up,
Mhm.
to be honest with you, for it to happen, because we've gone into this with the express understanding that we know what this is. I know you fucking other people. I'm fucking other people. So I have a good idea, already, of that. It's not exclusive at this stage. For it to turn into something serious, you know what? It's got to be a whole lot of emotions going on. Number one, that pussy got to be supreme. Um, and I guess emotionally, I would have to truly start seeing you in a different light, you know. But me being me, the likelihood of that happening is so small, because I've always been organized enough that you're in a certain rotation and you don't get out of that rotation. I like structure. I like order. And that's the way I run my life. And that's why I use the analogy of the weekend thing. When I tell you guys that for me, the 10 o'clock p.m. thing, I'm not kidding you. You're going to a situation is going to fit in my little box. That's why it works for me. And so you're not really going to get out. It's very difficult to get out of that little box, because it's going to be very difficult for me to see you as somebody I'm going to fall for and be serious about, when I know you just coming in and you probably suck somebody else's dick. So go in there and goggle first, bitch, and then let's get to it, you know? And okay, hit that shower, because I might want to eat the pussy. And again, I'm going to still do the scratch and sniff test to see, because I know somebody else has been there. So much is going to have to line up. And to Tasha's point, you're not spending the night anyway. You're in and out, So the opportunity for it to grow into anything serious is very, very slim for me.
All right, and I know we can't spend too much time on it, but is 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 the body count is what will be the breaking point? And Tasha, for you, because I know you were saying like,
Mhm.
who said? Did you say 10 years?
Oh yeah, it
Yeah,
was over
she's
10
10.
years. Yeah,
With the
over 10
body
years.
count, all right, that's just a hypothetical. With the body count, you too, Black. With the body count, is that what kind of would be make you apprehensive of going to a full
No,
fledged relationship,
no,
even if she has all the qualities that you're looking for? With that body count mess with
no,
you?
no. Like, again, for me, I already have put you in this compartment. You're not girlfriend material. I like fucking you, or kicking it with you because of a certain situation. I had situationship where I had a young lady who she worked she was a manager of crystals, and she was a manager at a supermarket. Best head I ever had in my life. A total head, a head professor. Best head I ever had in my life to this day. Not very attractive, but she brought groceries. She was quiet to be around. She was very convenient, but we were never going to be anything more than that. It was very convenient. She was a weekend thing at that. You know what I'm saying? Then I had situationship where I had people who lived out of town who came up on the weekend. You know, it was a kind of regular trip thing. I know that I'm gonna go on lockdown status. I'm gonna beat the brakes off that pussy from Friday to Sunday, and I don't see again until another couple of months. But it's never was going to be more than that.
Look like she was paying for the dick then.
Whatever, however you want to call it. Now, again, I'm pretty generous behind closed doors. You can eat and drink as you please. You know what I'm saying? And get to use good hot soap and water and shit like that. A couple of them I'm even fed. But because again, there's a level of trust. If you spend the night, clearly. But it
What were
was
they
never going
drinking,
to
Black?
develop into a real relationship.
What were they drinking and eating?
Well, I had now a couple of these I'm talking about. These are treated very, very well.
Oh.
Now the girl I said that we ate her food. She kept my food. She kept my shit stocked. Good food,
Okay.
steaks and all kinds of shit. She came in. She cooked. Beautiful personality, beautiful young
Nice.
lady. But we was never going to be any more than that. And so I know that going into it. But the body count didn't matter. When they're away from me, I don't care what you're doing. I really don't.
Okay.
I truly don't. Tasha, for you, body count. Any issue?
No, I definitely don't get hung up on that. I mean, it is what it is. Yeah.
It really is. That's just not a factor. Okay,
Okay.
we went a lot there.
Yeah.
I just no, that's fine because that's what we do. But some of the cons of another pro would have been basically the casual connections while you figure out what you like and dislike. It's one of the things. And I listed that as a pro because this, to me, I think benefits people coming out of long-term relationships because it's dangerous to be the rebound person,
Mhm.
And I think so many
Yes,
times people
sir.
jump into another quick relationship when they got baggage. So a
Right.
situationship could be I got a partner who he don't like sleeping alone.
Yeah.
And how can I say this when I get in trouble? Because he don't like sleeping alone, sometimes he jumped into relationships that should have been situationships. And it caused them more heartache than it should have. But because he didn't want to be alone, you understand what I'm trying to say?
I got a buddy like that. Yeah, I got a buddy like that.
So, and women are sometimes that way too. You get out of a relationship and they're used to somebody being there. So now I'm gonna make you my man when in reality it probably should be a situationship.
Right.
You know what I'm
How I
saying?
met mine.
So that's the other thing.
What you say,
And so
I said that's how I met mine.
you feel me? So absolutely, it is, so that's some things that they're. So anyway, let's get into what Shahana says. I don't know why people even bring up body count. You know what? I agree with you, Hannah. I think that's antiquated thinking now. I don't think that matters as much as it used to. You know what I'm saying?
So I think men still be in their feelings about it. That's a man thing that they can't handle a woman. In my opinion, I think women really they care, but women ain't gonna trip on it. Men, they gonna say, "Oh, she for the streets.
I agree.
She for the streets." That's the new
I agree
word
with you,
now.
bro. I agree.
I agree. I agree, Kenny.
I think it's more of a man thing.
I agree. And Hannah,
about that.
beautiful point. I don't think that should matter anymore. That
Right.
Look, we all sexual beings, and most of us is nasty as a wet doorknob. So does it really matter?
What the hell? What you say?
I said most of us is nasty as a wet doorknob. Now, in that, what I'm trying to say is, I think people are far more freakier and nastier than they ever will admit. Now, it might be with the right person.
I agree.
Now, it might be with the right person. So I want to clean that up.
That.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We've always heard a lady in the streets and a freak in the sheets or whatnot, blah, blah, blah. But that translates to men too. There's a lot of men walking around here. I ain't gonna do this. I ain't gonna do that. Now, behind closed doors, they will let women stick a thumb up their ass, and more than that, probably.
Well, I ain't doing that. But you're right. You're right, Black. You're right.
Tasha, am I lying? Tasha, am I lying?
No, they want to be pegged. That's what they want. That's the thing now. It's pegging.
Is it a thumb, Black?
I'm just saying. I'll take a tongue up my ass, but not a thumb in my ass. you know. But I'm just saying, Kenny, why you
He
looking
wants
at
me
me?
to
Somebody
take
clip
time
that.
that somebody else.
Somebody clip that one.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Well, that's my point. That we look. This is the professional person, but behind them closed doors, people do a lot of shit that you can't look at somebody and say, "I don't think she would do this and that." You really can. You really, really can. So that's all I'm trying to say. That people are nastier than they would imagine. Hannah says, I wish I was on tonight. Too much homework. I can't wait until Saturday. Y'all acting up. You know how we do, sweetheart. You know how we do. We're going to jump into some signs, though, because I do want anybody on here, and I want people watching this who are going to watch it behind to look at situations you in and ask yourself these real questions, because these are some signs that you might be in a situationship and you don't even know it. And this first one I think is so cool, where you don't meet each other's friends or family.
That's definitely a one. That's
You
definitely
know,
a sign.
Man.
you know what I'm saying? I want you guys, whoever's watching this, to ask yourself, and this is a tricky one too, because just because you're with somebody and they boys come over, or you're a guy and you kind of casually, I'm going out with my girlfriends, but when I say meet friends and families, I'm talking about, do that person really take the time to introduce you as their significant other? Because there's a difference. Anybody agree or disagree?
Oh, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with what
I
you're saying.
agree.
It's a big difference.
It's a big difference, you know. I back to situations on, you might know I'm fucking this person, but I ain't really gonna introduce you to my family. You know what I'm saying? And even my best friends, you're not gonna come to a gathering at my place where I got important people.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? You know that there's a difference there. So ask yourself, as you measuring this, is that the case? Hannah says, Bird tried to make us a situationship, but I wasn't having that sugar honey iced tea.
Get the hell out of here.
I wish she was on tonight to explain that. I wish she was on to explain that. I really do. She says, I agree. No title means you're just a lay. You know, absolutely. How many times, and I want to go to you, Tasha, on this one. When I used to say, "Oh, your boyfriend," you said, "That's not my boyfriend."
Always. That's
You
that's
know,
always my thing. That is not my boyfriend.
that's not my man. That's not my boyfriend. That's not my man. And so this is where I want people to look at, even you women sometimes. How do you get introduced to people you come across? Because it matters. Ladies, how important is that for who you're with and how you're introduced to people and who you're introduced to? Does it matter?
Oh yeah, it definitely matters. Cause even for mine,
Mm-hmm.
I can this person has, I think, like six kids, 6 or 7 kids. I've never met any of his kids, never met any of his friends, never met never met any of them. I think I may have met like a baby mama one time, but
Okay.
it was more, he wasn't even there. It
Wow.
was just like, I need you to go and pick this up for me. And it was, oh, this is just my friend.
Wow. You know, there you go. And mind you, this is a 10-year situationship she's talking about. Sis, does it matter who you get to meet and how you're introduced?
Yeah, it matters. It definitely matters. You're not going to be, first of all, don't be introducing me. You got to know what it is. He got to know what it is with me. That's why I situate men the way I want them to be, because you're not going to be talking about I'm no friend introducing me to your baby mother. I don't want to know your baby mother. I'm not interested in none of that.
Now, see, I'm gonna disagree with you a little bit on that to me, because I would want to be, if I'm important to you, let's say if the shoe's on the other foot and she has a baby daddy, you definitely introducing me. And I need to know how you're introducing me if I'm important to you. If I'm important to you,
Okay.
because if I'm in a relationship with you, this ain't. I'm just not some casual dude you fucking with. That's how I feel. I'm just saying for me. You had a question, Bert?
All right. Could you? The point is, where you coming from? You're talking about if you're important, like if you guys are actually a couple.
I'm saying it matters that exactly. If we just in a situationship, Sherry's right. I could care less about you introducing me to baby daddy, and that's how I know I'm in a situationship. I don't care what you tell him. You can say that's my cousin. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's just an old friend.
That's your brother. That's my brother.
See, I don't. I'm not even fucked up about that. If it's just a situationship, you know what I'm saying? I've been in those situations, Bert, where I've been at a social gathering, you know, and then me and this person in a situationship, and here comes somebody, and that person leaned over and said, "Now, you know, you're my cousin, right?" Bet.
But check it. All right. And Tasha, now I'm going back to you with the 10-year. A lot of stuff is hypothetical. You expect that person, if they did have a baby mama, would you expect them to introduce you to them, even if it's something like if you got years invested in that person?
No, I have no desire to meet your baby mama. None of that.
All right. And would you want to meet? All right. Would you want to meet the kids?
No.
Like, nah, I don't want to meet them.
I know her too well. I know her too well because they established. You know what it is.
Yeah, if something happens and like I have no choice. Like I'm in the car with you, you're in the car with me,
right?
By chance, but is it like a demand? No, I don't expect you to introduce.
Not important. It's just not important in a situationship. But what I was saying is, when it crosses over to I'm in a relationship with you, how would I feel if I'm thinking I'm in a relationship with somebody and friends come in the house and they stop and say, "Oh, that's just one of my friends." Okay. That's how I would feel. Okay. Oh,
yeah,
you know. And what if somebody asks directly, "Oh, so this your new boyfriend?" It's just a friend of mine. It matters. It matters.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm brought in on a garbage can lid or not. Hannah says it's important to me. I need to be claimed, and I love that word. I need to be claimed. If I need to be a secret, then I need to be with someone else. And so she's right in a relationship. But if you're in a situationship, there's many times you gonna be a secret.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to get nobody in trouble. I want to get nobody in trouble. Let me say this. There's people right now that watch my show. Whew. I'm their brother. Of course we fucked.
Oh boy. Here we go.
But okay, I'm gonna leave it at that.
All right.
Dum dum dum. No.
Wow.
It's real talk. I'm gonna leave it at that. Let's talk about another sign. You know, you haven't, Tasha, stop it.
Sorry.
You haven't talked about the future. You haven't talked about the future. If someone is important to you, there's a future, and it's likely going to be discussed. But if you're in a situationship, why talk about it? You know,
right.
You know what I'm saying? And again, as I go through these in the interest of time, if anybody want to comment on some of them, please feel free. You know?
I mean that's pretty much self-explanatory right there. The four words that you don't want to hear in a situationship is, where is this going? You don't want to hear those 4 words in a situationship. Yeah. Because it's going where it's going. Hey, you can't move the goalpost now. You can't move the goal line now. It is what it is. So
in fact, Brother Kenny, those words will end a situationship for me. Yeah. Because now I know you're looking for something I can't give you. Mm-hmm. So when you start questioning, so where's this going? And so what do we mean? You know what? I'm actually looking for my exit strategy now, and I've been in that situation. You know,
or when you're discussing your own individual future plans, and they're like, "What about me?"
And then I don't know. Shit.
I don't know.
Very good point. You know,
that too.
Tasha, that's a big one right there. Well, you know, in 6 months, I'm getting ready to move to Atlanta. You know, you know what I'm saying? And
Or
you ain't
St.
Yeah.
told this
Louis.
person.
Right. Right. Yeah.
I
You
hope
ain't
he
right.
sees this.
You ain't right. You gonna talk about me. You gonna talk about you ain't right. You ain't right.
Oh, that's so funny. Sorry.
But yes, yes. And so it matters. What's up, Sister Hannah? How you doing,
Hey, what's
sweetheart?
up, Hannah?
Hey,
You
y'all
know.
gonna get me in trouble. I had to sneak down here. I was
So,
going home.
yeah, 15, 20 minutes and you can get back to it. Let's talk about another one, though, that is a big sign that you might be in a situationship. And this one is obvious, too. You're missing an emotional connection,
Mhm.
you know. And I don't even think we really need to dwell on that because, again, we've established that this is not for, you know, we're not in a serious relationship. It's a situationship. And so but I do want to want somebody to comment on this part because we did mention that you do talk and you might
Mhm.
even share some information that maybe you shouldn't have. But where do you draw the line between letting it get emotional and still being able to keep those boundaries set? Where do you draw the line? How much emotionally do you invest where you know there's a place where you stop from what you're willing to tell or even hear from them? Because
I know.
go
I
ahead, brother.
I I know. For me, is I wouldn't want to know anything that she's doing when we ain't hooking up. I don't want.
Wow.
I don't want to hear anything about that
Okay.
because my emotions. I might start feeling some type of way if
Okay.
even though I know, we know this is a situationship, but if we consistent in doing that, I don't really want to know anything outside of when we not together. I don't want to know anything what you doing.
Now,
Period.
when you say anything, you mean anything,
It
even the
anything,
casual stuff.
even the casual stuff. I don't want
Wow.
to know about
Wow. Wow. Okay. And
because then you start becoming interested in their daily lives, and then that's when emotions will start coming into play.
wow, not for me. Do y'all
I,
feel that same way? That if you're in a situationship that you don't want to hear anything, Hannah, please, sweetheart.
I would say yes. I think you should keep everything on the surface. Like,
Wow.
I would even go as far as nobody cares about. I know this might sound cold blooded. Nobody care about your kids, your mom, your dad. If you was in a car accident, if it's just
Wow.
if it's just a situationship, because that's how quick we are. Especially us. I'm a woman,
Hmm.
and we are emotional. So if you something that small, and then the nurturing part of us, something that small can change your mind from a situationship to a relationship, just depending on the dynamic of the conversation. So I feel like, you know how people be like, oh, we in a situationship, but you acting like we in a relationship because you talking too much. You pillow
yep,
Oh,
talking.
yep.
You
wow.
going on extra
Mhm.
unnecessary dates. You spending holidays together. All that is irrelevant for a situationship. It is what it is. The season is over. We done. But when
Very,
you invest too much time, the situationship in one person's mind become a relationship, and there comes the conflict in between.
very good points. Sherry, Tasha, you want to add anything?
I don't know. I think this is where mine kind of broke the rules because, like, we did know a lot about each other.
Right.
Like as far as like what was going on with, in his case, like with his kids and different things, or what he was going through. Like just personally, just like whether it be things related to career, money, finances, things like that. No, like we, in that case, we did have like an emotional connection like that. So.
Mm.
Sis, you got anything to add, or Bert?
No, I just that's why it's a situationship
Okay.
because I don't want to know nothing about your situations and shit.
Okay.
You ain't gonna be telling you nothing about mine.
Okay. Brother Bert?
All right, me. You can talk to me. Don't mean that I still want to be in a relationship with you. I like I just know how to cut that shit off. Like if you want to talk to me about certain things and stuff like that, it's all good. You know what I mean? We can rap a little bit, but I mean, at the end of the day, I know what the bottom line is. The bottom line is we just fucking and that's it. Now, while you in my presence, then fine. Everything is to you. You know what I mean? Whatever you want to talk to me or you can fucking talk to me about. I don't really give a shit. But at
That's
the
my
end of the
nigga.
day, at the end of the day, I'm just, it's whatever. You know what I mean? At the
Bert,
end of the day, like I'm not taking it to heart or nothing like that. Like I'll talk to you, I'll give you some advice or something like that. But other than that, we're gonna keep this shit
I'm the
moving at the
same
end of the
way.
day.
Bert, I'm the exact same way. I've always been, believe it or not, emotionally available to that person. I don't know. Maybe it's just in my nature to listen to women and solve problems, and they feel comfortable sharing that stuff with me. And for me, that's always been a part of what makes it work in any way. In many cases, they're with me because I'm a much better listener than whoever they got, to be honest with you. So they are telling me a lot of shit, but just like you said, Bert, it it goes in here, it don't go here. It's here. So I hear you and I can give you all the advice and I can even commiserate with you, especially if you fucking me right. I can lay there and be like, well, sweetheart, that's kind of fucked up. We can talk it through, you know, but it's not going to go here because like you said, Brother Bird, I don't care to that extent. And the sad truth of it is the moment you leave, it's really gone because your problems is your problems. But I am mostly available to you in that moment. Now, Hannah, you make a brilliant point because that has gotten me in trouble. So to your point, Hannah, you're right. I assumed, unfortunately, I wonder, Bert, if you had this issue, as a man, I can separate the two, but I have gotten myself in trouble by being available. I love what you said, Hannah. When you start going on to certain events with people, I have had situationships where now hey, Black, you want to go with me to Thanksgiving? To me, it was just a fucking invite. But to her, since he came to Thanksgiving, that must mean we something special. Bitch, it was just a meal for me.
A
You know what
free
I'm saying?
meal.
It was a free meal. And what's even worse, I'm looking around to see who I can fuck in that room. But to her, it was, oh, he came, to my Thanksgiving dinner. So I've gotten myself in trouble because maybe I should have, to your point, Kenny, kept it all separate, but I have commingled and have gotten myself in trouble a time or two with women who read it wrong. And because I'm a good listener, that must mean I'm falling for you. And it never did. It never meant I was falling for you because to Bert's point, I always knew it was never going anywhere. One of my friends the one who played in the pussy a whole lot, we got in a big argument over that. She played in the pussy all day long. Oh my God. Big old sloppy wet pussy. It was absolutely ridiculous. But, and what really was fucked up is we were actually we was living together as roommates. And so she worked nights, I worked days. And so what I thought was a cool situation and the very definition of a situationship, but because we living together and all of a sudden she started crossing the lines and because we sharing a space and everything, I didn't, and then we fucked a little bit here and there, but I stopped fucking her because pussy was always real sloppy and wet and shit, and she thought it was a turn on, but it was horrific. Just horrific to come in and somebody laying there with their legs all gapped open and shit, and you got the candle slit and your big fingers is playing around your pussy. The shit was absolutely ridiculous.
I'm done.
Way to set the scene for us. We felt like we were there.
I feel like I was listening to a play-by-play. We got the NFL Sunday ticket. Giving us a play-by-play.
It was, ladies, that as a PSA, it's okay to masturbate, but stay out of that box. You don't have to plan it every fucking day and constantly.
Canceled. Oh, I'm so glad you're not giving names. God. Oh.
I'm just saying, okay, in the interest of time, what about, and I'll just skip one or two, I'm going to skip a few. Your communication is inconsistent. Now, Tasha, you had a 10-year span. So like you said, y'all probably saw each other on a more regular basis,
But
Okay, that's where I was going. Go ahead.
but even now, as I would say, like we're
I
off
wanted her to
right
go
now.
here. I wanted her to go here. Go ahead.
But that has been that's just been our dynamic. We can go like a few months to a few years without speaking to each other, and then boom, out of nowhere you get a text message and it's like you're right back into like the same
Right.
thing.
Right.
That's why this time I had to block that devil,
Mm.
okay? You can't get to me this time. I had to block
Okay.
him.
Tasha, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Was it the
What? The dick? Oh, definitely. Best sex I
okay?
ever had in my entire life.
Okay, because that
Yes.
didn't change the
He knows
dynamic.
it. He knows it. That's the problem. He knows it.
And I'm gonna tell you,
Okay,
I like the
I'm
guy
about to say that
genuinely.
changes the whole dynamic of the
I met
situation.
him, and he is very likable. He is such a likable
Oh, yeah.
cat. You know,
Charming as shit. Yeah.
I like the guy. I
Let-
respected
Question.
him when I was living with Tasha. Most men would have been intimidated by that situation. Didn't fuck with him at all. You know, he came in. What's up, Black? Me and him sat there. We watched basketball, drank together, and it was time for them to go do their thing. All right. No, he's real with the shit, you know,
Mm,
and
mhm.
just very charming, you know, strong opinionated guy. And you gonna have to be the fuck with Tasha because Tasha is a handful. So I love how he handled her. You
Mm.
know, I respect how he handled her. Now he ain't shit, but
Okay.
That's
There you
true.
have it.
and it's the truth, and I mean that with respect, right, Tasha?
Oh, absolutely. No, he's an
Decent
asshole for
guy,
real.
but
He's
yeah,
an asshole.
but yeah, you know,
There you
but
have
in
it.
all seriousness, but yeah, you know. Okay, so again, I'm skipping a couple of them in the interest of time, and I think this goes hand in hand. And Tasha, you can speak to this. You never know when you're gonna see them.
It, that's it right there. You might get a text message. Shit, sometimes you might walk outside and they sitting in the parking lot. You just never know. But it is inconsistent. It's very. But it's okay because they don't owe you that level of consistency. It's okay. It's just like when you're in the mood to see them, just hit them up and just see where it is. That's it.
So I
That's
want to ask a
that's
question based
that's
on
crazy.
this, but I do want to ask a question based on this, and this is mostly to my brothers on here, you know. And again, Bert, answer at your own risk, but I know we're talking about a
I don't hit that
long,
man.
long
I
time
ain't
ago.
heard that man. I got the prize.
I know that's right.
I
Hey,
don't care who was before me.
talk your ish, Anna.
I
You ain't
love
Talk
it.
heard
your ish.
him.
I know that's right.
On this one, fellas, when it comes to you never know when you're going to see them. How did that affect you when you was in a situationship where it really was where you truly didn't know when you was going to see this person because they pop in and pop if you've had that experience, how did you deal with that?
I can honestly answer that real quick. A, I've never been in a situationship, so I've never
Oh
been in
wow.
that. But
Wow.
B, consistency is number one for me when it comes to any type of
I've heard you say
relationship.
that. I've heard you
If
say
you
that.
cannot be consistent with me, that's a wrap. So I
Does that
probably
mean
is not.
because of that, does that mean you would never even entertain being in a situationship?
If we're in a situationship, there has to be some sort of consistency for me
Wow.
to
Wow.
entertain that. If it's gonna be like the weather in Texas, bipolar and all that, nah,
Yeah.
you can miss me on that. Nah, I'm good.
That makes it
Okay.
fun and exciting.
Nah, I'm good on that. If we can't have a little bit of consistency in the
Okay.
situationship, just a little bit, nah, I'm out. I
Okay.
pass.
How did you deal with that, Bert?
You talking about just popping up?
Yeah, like not even just so much popping up, just not knowing at any point because it's a situationship. And I don't know if you've ever been in a situation like me where they with somebody or whatever they might be. So you can't just call them. You know, you pretty much I've been in situationships where I pretty much was at that person's, I won't say mercy, but I wasn't in full control of when I would see them.
And
I'm
I
thinking
don't
about a
like that.
situationship that I was in when I first moved here. That I wasn't running the show, so to speak. That literally she would have to say, "Hey, what's up?" And to Tasha's point, that "what's up" could mean I'm coming through this weekend. It could mean what you doing, I'm coming through tonight. It could mean I'm down the street. Are you free now?
Mm-hmm.
Don't pop up on me. Don't pop up on me for real. Like now, if you call us, you know what I mean. If you
Cause you evil.
gonna call whatever, then we, you know what I mean. We gonna set it up or whatever the case may be. Don't
Okay.
pop up because if you pop up and I don't know about it or something like that, and there's something else going on, then you gonna get your feelings hurt. For real,
Our
you gonna get your fucking
question to
feelings hurt.
you: Are there any circumstances under which a person could violate that, could get past that rule?
Yeah, if I don't got nothing going on.
Okay.
If
Okay.
I don't got, I'm being straight up. I'm being honest with you. If I don't have nothing going on, then fine. You can, if you popped up, then it's all right. I can look past that. But
Okay.
it's not because I look at it like this. Like I'm gonna be respectful. I'm not gonna pop up on you. I want to talk to you like, hey, what's up? What you doing? What's going on? And then if it ain't nothing, I'm gonna swing through. But don't swing through on me.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
shit.
agree.
I'm gonna tell you.
Okay.
Tough
Sis,
And I
I'm sorry.
agree.
Go ahead, Kenny.
I don't pop up on nobody either. Even if I was in the situationship, I don't pop up on women. Never have, never done it. I actually did it one time, and yeah, I popped up into a weird kind of situation. So
Ooh,
now I
what?
know
Ooh, what happened?
I know why my ass didn't do pop ups, and I won't be doing them anymore.
The family's saying. The
Oh,
family said,
Story
"Do
time.
tell." The family said, "Do
Oh,
tell."
this ain't story time.
no, it's story time. You opened the
Damn,
gate. You opened the
damn.
gate.
Basically,
Real talk.
I was dealing with this particular woman, and I told her I had been calling her. I told her, hey, I'm coming. I'm gonna come see you so we can go out to dinner, whatever. We're in two different cities at this point. So I kept calling her, and I was coming to where I was coming anyway. And I kept calling her, I kept getting a voicemail. She wouldn't pick up. So okay, so I went and hooked up with a couple of my boys. We had some drinks. Yeah, I got a little tipsy. I'm like, okay, I called. I'm like, okay, what? She knew I was coming. So here my black ass goes like, knowing I don't do this. I'm talking to myself, knowing you don't pop up on nobody. Son, you don't. The devil on the other shoulder said, yeah, we're gonna roll up over here, see what's happening. Man, I roll up over there, knock on the door, man. Her daughter came to the door. I said, where your mom? Your mom's here? She good? She okay? Yeah, hold on. So I stepped into her place. Her mom's was in her room. She come out. She had a towel around her. Naked, pushing me kind of like out the door. I was like, hey, what's going on? I said, what happened? You ain't answered your call. Oh, well, I've been busy. I said, okay, cool. I got you. Well, I'm out. Deuces. And
Okay.
that was it.
Did you ever
Damn.
find? Did you ever find out? Was she with somebody?
I ain't stupid. Believe me. The way her body language told it all. I ain't dumb. Yeah, you had, and that's cool.
Did you continue
We
to
wasn't
deal with
in.
her?
I mean, we still kind of cool to this day. We are
Okay.
cool. Because my
Okay.
thing was we weren't in no committed
Okay.
relationship.
Okay.
We were just there with each other. So my thing was I shouldn't have popped up over there. Like I say, don't pop because I don't like people popping up on me. Sometimes you pop up on a situation you really didn't know you was popping. You don't want to pop up on,
Kenny,
and that's
Kenny,
what happened.
you really are the good brother from the mother. You really good.
You are, man.
You
That's
really are the
Man,
good brother.
But damn,
That
you
look was
It couldn't have been me. I'd have been like,
brother, dog.
nigga, trying to get this dick sucked.
Oh my God.
that look was
Once the daughter let me in, I'd have been like, oh shit, nigga, trying to get this dick sucked.
yeah,
You really are the
man.
good brother.
Hey, man. That I learned my lesson from pop-ups. Don't do it.
Sis, I'm gonna come to you. How do you handle inconsistency and not never knowing when you're going to see somebody? Is that something you deal with or no?
No, I'm not dealing with that. If you inconsistent, then that's what it is. You show me what it is. You tell me. If I see you somewhere, then hey, how you doing? I'm keeping moving. I don't
Okay.
want to be bothered. Ain't no hookups after that.
Okay.
No.
Tasha,
Hmm?
how do you handle the emotional part of that and just seriously not knowing, when you're going to see this person?
In the beginning, it was difficult,
Mhm.
like until I came to terms with like what it was gonna be, because it's like, okay, like like this person is cool to be around. I ain't got nothing else to do. Kind of like my fucking cure for boredom. And like I
Okay.
told you, when I first met this person, it was like right after like a relationship. So it was like I was used to being around somebody all the time.
Okay.
But once you come to terms with it, and I told him I would make it very clear, don't do pop-ups because you might get your feelings hurt. I give you a
Okay.
warning. You might get your feelings hurt. So
Right. So I asked that, and for me, now to your point, Kenny, I'm not a pop up person. I've done it before, way back in the past, and like you learn a hard lesson that when you pop up on somebody, tell them what you're gonna run into. So I'm not a pop up person. In fact, I'm more of a control freak. I like home court advantage. Anyway, having said that, I was in a situation right here in Atlanta where I was in a complete situationship. I had no control over it whatsoever. Um, I was dealing with these two young girls. And to be perfectly frank with you, I was so I was so proud that two young bitches was fucking with me at my age, being older, fat, and this bitch was bad.
What up,
And a
Charles?
girlfriend was bad,
Yeah.
So at first I felt um what's the word? What's the word? You felt like like she was doing me a favor. I felt at first I kind of felt like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Like this, I mean, this
You thought it was a
this
mercy
bitch was
call?
this bitch no, it wasn't not I don't feel like a mercy fuck, but I felt like this girl
fortunate.
was this
You
yeah, I
got
felt really
chose.
fortunate. She was
Mm-hmm.
so bad that I thought, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh shit, she fucking with me. And then, I remember when she was like, I gotta tell you something. I got a girlfriend. She
Mm.
was telling me in the sense of like I was gonna cut her down for having a girlfriend because she felt like me being an older guy that I was kind of behind the time. I was gonna look at her funny since
Oh,
she fucked with women too.
girlfriend.
Yeah, she had a
Oh.
girlfriend. Right. We had this conversation. She was like, I gotta tell you something, I don't know how you're gonna take it, blah, blah, blah. She was all like scared, like, I don't know how to tell you this, blah, blah, blah. And so if I was like, whoa, she said, so I didn't want to kid. So anyway, I was in a situation where these two bitches was come over together. I was in a full-fledged freak show. Two bad young bitches. I'm talking 26 years old. I'm an old fat dude. But the inconsistency thing started fucking with me
Hmm.
because, like I said, I never knew when they was gonna pop up. And in my younger years, I could do the Superman routine. Like if somebody called, I could go to, jumping in the shower real quick and getting shit ready and blah, 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 blah. But being old and all that kind of stuff now, it became a hardship. And you start fucking with me, like, like, and then I felt like she was using me, and that it turned into something else that, okay, y'all only coming through here when you two
Right.
bitches want to drink up some liquor and kill a few
Mm-hmm.
hours to,
Right.
with the old guy, the old freak guy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And
Hmm.
so, and I seriously, so it started fucking with me, the inconsistent part about it. So I ended up learning something about myself, just how much I didn't like being in that situation of not being in control. What's going on, Brother Charles? Thank you,
Hey,
my brother.
Charles.
Love y'all.
I'm a control freak. And that's what I realized about myself, that I can't deal with the inconsistency part of it. So yeah. So that for me was a bad experience. I'm gonna go one more because I booked the show to 9:15. But I thought that there's a couple of them that's really good, just to be honest, and I'll share some of them with you. Everything is based on convenience. Oh God, we could talk about that ad
Oh
nauseum.
yeah. Right. Right.
Here's
Right.
one I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to stop on though. You don't go on dates.
You don't call them dates.
Oh,
You don't
what do you
call
call them?
them dates. We're going to. It's very generic. We're going to have
You
lunch.
hanging? Oh,
Mhm.
you
We're gonna
hanging
go
out?
have
Oh, did you?
dinner.
Oh,
It's
you hanging out?
generic.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Okay.
Mm.
And the
Mm.
reason, but here's the other reason why I wanted to stop on that. I said at the top of the show that there's some people right now in relationships that might be in situationships. Ask yourself how often you and that person actually go out on a real date. And that
That's a
may
good
shed
one.
some light on things.
Mm-hmm.
I tell people all the time, I haven't been on a date in years. To Tasha's point, we ran and got something to eat.
Mhm.
You know, you run an errand, but a date is something that's planned. The time is separated for you to be with them. And so some of these relationships that I see, especially the ones that are social media ready, how much time are you actually spending on a date with that person? Again, where they're, to your point, Hannah, they're claiming you and letting you know that you're special, male or female, to where you're out, you're seen together. How many social media pages out there that if you looked at them, you would honestly know that that person is in a relationship? Because sometimes the pictures will tell you everything.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
yeah, right. That's true. Mm-hmm.
Now, the excuse people will use is, "Oh, I want to keep it. I want to keep my
I want to keep
personal
it
business."
private. Right.
That's what they
The
will
lies.
say. You know what I'm saying? But is it really? Charles said, "Going on dates can be fun with the right person. All about the absolutely, absolutely, Charles." And that's the thing. Really, people don't hardly date anymore. But that's a big part for me is when I know I'm in a relationship where it's planned. We're going on a date. You know what I'm saying? Hey, baby, we going to the movies on Saturday. And in most cases, that's going to include a whole evening with the dinner, the movies, and all that shit, But if it's just Netflix and chill, y'all on the situationship, y'all probably just fucking,
Right.
And so these are, again, I'm showing some of the things that, people need to look at. Here's another one. The relationship is stuck in neutral. We talked about where's this going, If you've been with somebody, I want this another one for people who are with somebody. It's 3, 4, 5 years. Y'all still just boyfriend. Where's it going?
Mm-hmm.
At what point is it going to progress beyond you're just with each other? How long can you stay in girlfriend boyfriend status, y'all?
How long can you
That's a
stay in
good
that
one.
status? You know what? I'll say this. It's a determination on what you guys discuss about. Because some people have like a 3-year rule, some people have a 5-year rule. It all
Right.
depends on what that person is determining, determining factor. You know what I'm saying? Um, what was yours?
My rule was we was coming down south, and I wasn't coming down here without knowing where the hell we was going.
Well, that's what it was then. What the hell
There
was
you
that?
go. There,
Damn.
You know
there you
what?
go.
You know
There you
what?
go.
But no, that was a big move. You know what I'm
Hannah,
saying?
can you say that again for people who, for a lot of women who need to hear that?
Can y'all
Hannah,
hear me?
no, we can hear
Yeah.
you now.
Okay. All right. So my thing was Bert and I, we were together at that point 2.5 years, and his job moved us from Philadelphia to North Carolina. I was not, even though my parents have been in North Carolina for the past 11 years at that time, I was not moving 8 hours away without knowing where we were going. And people, I don't like when people like, oh, I don't want to bring up this discussion because I don't know where it's going. If you have a fear of where your relationship is going, then you don't need to be with that person. Because if you are scared to open up and say what you want, and you want to keep wasting your time, then that's not the person for you. And that's even with marriages. I didn't realize till I started really looking on social media. It's a lot of married single people too. There's a lot of
That's what
married
that's what that's
single
what
people
Black was
out here.
saying.
Y'all not going
That's what
on
Black was
dates.
saying.
Y'all don't care about each other. Y'all living separate lives. Y'all wasting time when you could make room for what else is there. So I feel like some people also feel like, well, the years are invested. I don't want to. I waste all this. You didn't waste that. You had a lesson that taught you that you can let it go, get yourself together, and then move on. So yeah, I definitely made it clear what I wanted. And if he didn't want that, we probably wouldn't be together right now. But I made it clear before even moving across state lines what I wanted.
I love that so much, and there's so much value in what you said because number one, you talked about some people are even afraid to broach the subject. There's a lot of
Right.
people that fear that if I bring that up, he or she is going to leave because now I'm pressing them. But if you've been together for
Mhm.
appropriate length of time, why wouldn't you bring it up if you know you want more?
Mm-hmm.
And again, I don't even consider that an ultimatum, but that's just saying, look, I need to know where this is going before I make that big of a leap and a commitment. Because once again, I know people who do just that, Hannah. They move and uproot their whole life in hopes that the person, not realizing, let's go back to one of these things, not realizing that just because you move with somebody, just because you're around, it might be just based on convenience for that person. They don't want to be
Yeah.
alone. So yeah, you can come
Mm-hmm.
with me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We still gonna be stuck in neutral, but yeah, my job is moving me here. So yeah, you can well tag along. And I've seen it happen where people make that level of sacrifice, and then when that person find who they really want, you're out the door. That person's out the door. So again, it is so many married single people that it blows my mind. When I look around, it's so many people that are in relationships that's why I wanted to do this show, that you're in a relationship, but it's more of a situationship when you break down all of the things and look at, what it's really about. Charles say in a relationship, you shouldn't be afraid to discuss anything. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right.
And so Charles, that we were talking about communication as another thing, because we all know that in many of these relationships, they really don't talk about anything serious. You know, that getting high, when the food stamps come, that's when y'all together at the grocery store and shit, you know, you know.
Dude,
I see it all the time. There's just about the only time you see guys in the grocery store is around food stamp time. They there to help pick out and put shit in the buggy to make sure the little kids don't get shit. They get all the shit they want.
Well,
You know,
damn.
Why
you know,
why are you fanning
Dang.
like it's flies?
cause niggas and flies. Niggas is just like flies. But you see them in the grocery store. But then in their regular home life, there's no real communication. He's in one room, you're in another. And then now it ain't only the men. There are a lot of men out here who want to be in relationships, and there's women that they're more single than married. They're doing their thing separate from you. And you're convenient to be a husband or a boyfriend when it's convenient. When they need to show up at an event where now I want to bring my husband and I want to be in circles where, we husband and wife, it's great and convenient. But on a daily basis, shit, fuck that nigga, fuck that
Shots fired.
bitch. I'm just saying.
You gonna be getting all kind of
I'm,
messages.
look, I'm spitting the
Y'all
truth.
acting up.
I'm spitting the truth as it is. The reality is, I did this show because it's a real dynamic. And all I'm asking, look, I'm not judging anybody's relationship. And let me say this as we
Right.
end in the show. If you like it, I love it. So I want to be
Whatever
clear about
works.
that. This is not me judging anybody's relationship. I only put this on the table so that it can help you to define what you're in. But if you like it, I love it. In case you don't know anything about Lee Black, in the grand scheme of things, I don't give a fat fuck about it and everything, because I ain't getting no head and tail from a no way. So it don't make me no difference. You know what I'm saying?
And and
So
I and I think
Can I
I
say
think this
something?
could bring. Oh, I'm sorry, Hannah. Real quick, go ahead, Hannah. My bad. Go ahead.
No, I want to cut you off.
No, I just was gonna say I think this show is really important to bring clarity to those that are maybe in one and you're trying to figure out what you do, you want to continue this, or to those that's saying like, look, I ain't really ready for no relationship. What is it? This situationship might be what I need right now. So I think it's a good show. I mean, to kind of open up people's eyes and talk and mature people talking about.
And that's all I do. Look, I'm the messenger, so you don't have to shoot me. You know, I might say some shit that hit a little close to home. You know, wear it if it fits, and if not, don't worry about it. I'll even further end it by saying I am looking for a situationship. You know, I'm even going, you know, because I want to ask you guys as we close out. I'm personally looking for a situationship right now. Where I'm at this station in my life, and Charles said, "Food stamps are such an ugly word. EBT is better." You know what, my brother?
That's true.
That's what's
right,
wrong with
Charles.
with the program. I think we should go back to food stamp because it got some of these motherfuckers out here acting sadiddy. I wish you to go back to the point
the
where food
Monopoly
stamps was
money?
in a book that you had to tear them off.
Yeah, you in the book.
Once you gave these
You had to tear them
motherfuckers a
off.
card,
You're right.
The
you know,
Monopoly money.
you know,
Right.
we need to go back to that place, Charles. You know, because a lot of these motherfuckers forgot where they came from, and they out here buying all the good shit. And when I go to the grocery store, I can't find shit. Jimmy Dean bowls, you nasty no good bitches buying up all. Every time I find something good I like, you food stamp motherfuckers is getting it all. So
all they got to do is swipe now. They just have to swipe.
Right,
They
you know,
they got to
just
say
Remember we used to have
they
the brown
they
ones
looking
and
in
the
my
green
buggy.
and
Oh,
all
that
that?
look good. Go get 6 of those, you nasty dirty bitch. And then you don't even want to sell none of them, you stinking hoe. But anyway, I digress.
Look at Kim.
I digress. See,
Handful.
Charles, I blame you for that. I digress. But what I was saying is, I'm looking for a situationship. I truly, on a serious note, I realize at this station in my life, I am not built for a relationship. I had to come to terms and be honest with myself at this stage. My length of the time I've been alone, I've been divorced. I got divorced at 30 years old. I'm 55. For 25 years, I've lived a single life. I've had girlfriends here and there, but even living alone, I covet my solitude, my bachelorhood. I'm extremely selfish. My house is organized in such a way that it's built just for me. I realize at this stage that a relationship is probably, I would not be a great partner in a relationship, but I could be great in a situationship. And I'm so serious that I'm beyond that stage of wondering what your body count is, who you're fucking. I don't have to see you all the time. To your point, Kenny, that I need a little bit of consistency so I know when you're coming around to a certain extent. But I'm okay with, being emotionally available enough to where you can talk to me. I really won't give a shit too much about it in the grand scheme of things, but I'll give you good advice. And so I really am open to a situationship with a woman that's the right age, got her shit together. And so, because again, that's the perfect fit for me. I don't want kids in my home. So even if you got kids, I'm opening the door to your ass too. Just don't bring them here. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead.
Is that what you prefer?
That's what I actually need. What I truly covet right now is a situationship. I want to fuck somebody on a semi-regular basis that I somewhat trust enough that I can raw dog and do all the nasty, freaky shit I want, that we're gonna protect each other. But I want her to go home, and I want enough space to be between us that I don't want to be the live-in boyfriend. I can't carry that weight anymore. I don't want to see your ass every day. And I got too many fucked up habits as a diabetic and sciatic and more shit for you to be seeing all that shit about me, you know? So we need to see the best of each other. So I'm really looking for that.
You need to find yourself a nurse, Black. That's what I think you need.
You
need to hook up with
right.
one of them
You
nurses
need you a
over
nurse
there.
Betty, brother. Get you a nurse Betty.
Back in the day, nurses and teachers were the best to deal with because of their work schedule,
Yeah.
But it's funny that you say that. We live in a world now where those aren't professions that people go into as much anymore. I work in education. Those used to be the go-to fields. I want to be a nurse. I want to be a teacher. I work in education every day, and those are fields of now. All these bitches want to be influencers. You know, and again, I just want a natural woman. All the big hard titties and rough, big stiff ass. Save all that shit. Give me a woman with a little bit of tiger stripes on her. The titties can hang a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I need the pussy to be beat up a little bit and shit, because again, my days of terrorizing that pussy is probably over. So, I just want to do a halfway decent job in that pussy, but somebody else can bring terror to it. And so I just want to fit in where I get in.
Tasha, get your boy.
What?
Tasha, get your
He's
boy.
just
Get your
he's
boy. Get
speaking
your
his
man.
truth.
I'm just telling you, that's what I'm looking for at this stage of my life. That's it. Anyway,
What?
we went on. We went over more than we should have, but I do think this is an important conversation. If you're watching this back, ignore. You can cut out all the comments. I hope you got something from it. I would say, but this shit is cathartic for me. This is I don't have no therapist. I ain't paying nobody. So I'm sitting. This is my goddamn couch. So I'm telling you all of my shit right here.
So if anybody goes back and watches it and sees it and is interested, hit Black up, hit his DMs, slide his DMs. He is looking for a situationship. What about you, Kenny? Kenny, no situationship for you?
It would require some level of consistency. I could do it, but it has to be some consistency at this point.
That's fair.
Tasha, open
Oh,
to
we
a
both in a-
situationship,
we in a
even if
situationship
not
right
right
now.
now.
Right.
Wait, what'd you say, Black?
I say for you, even if not right at this moment,
Oh.
are you still open to a situationship?
I don't know. Maybe, yeah, maybe like in the future. Right now, I'm not
Right.
interested in any of it,
Right.
and doing
That's why I
any of
know.
it. But yeah, maybe, yeah.
Because I think a situation would do you some good too.
I think so.
I don't like seeing you without regular doses of dick.
Who you telling? I'm starting to chase colors and
Wait a
shit.
minute.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm developing superpowers over here. So
So if she gonna put me out there, fellas, look.
no, that's not what that
Fellas,
meant.
fellas.
No,
All
no.
let me finish what I'm saying. Fellas, all I'm saying is, fellas, she's not looking for anything serious right now. She's working on her, but the door is open for the right circumstance where good dick travels, fellas. Good dick travels and it travels well. And she even acknowledging that. So the door ain't completely shut. And this is my best
co-sign that,
friend.
Tasha.
And I got she said,
Okay.
she's a lot crankier, folks. She needs some good quality dick, at least on a semi-regular basis.
Yeah,
I'm just telling you.
Kenny.
You are not my pimp. I don't know why I gotta tell you that. You are not my pimp, okay?
It did feel
Right,
like
he's like, he
it.
pimping you,
Oh,
right?
shit.
Right, pimping.
I'm telling you. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, let us know it's real.
Great show. It done my heart good to see the whole family here tonight.
Yeah.
Guess
me
what,
too.
folks? We on the other side of Hump Day. 2 more days, and we make it to another weekend. 2 more days. Love seeing you guys. For people popping in, thank you so much. Look, continue to support the show. Check us out on TFG Uncut and Ratchet. And throw some ideas out there for us to talk about some of the things you want to hear as well. We have some fun with it, but we hope you also get some good points from us as well. Talk about this thing. Watch the show with family members, with friends, and have these conversations with each other. There is a lot of value in some of the points that we bring out, although we kind of find that the humor in it, but it's serious things going on. At the end of the day, we want to see people improve their situations no matter what that looks like. So we're going to leave it there. So until next time, everybody enjoy the rest of your week. Love you all. See you on the other
Love you
side.
back, brother. All right,
Later,
guys. Love
it
y'all.
real.
Love y'all.
All right, peace.